Right, so now that our full auto weapon class is set up and good to go, as well as we can actually toggle between semi and full auto based off of this boolean here is in full auto, which actually needs to be removed from our, make it so we can't access it in Blueprint because we don't need to. We are now going to use this boolean is select fire to allow us to change between semi and full auto based off of a button press. So first thing I want to do is I want to remove this from being Blueprint accessible. So weapon full.h, B is in full auto. Let's remove the U property. So now that that's good. Now we need to set up the input. So I'm going to go over here to settings, project settings, input, action mappings, and create a new one. I'm going to call this one select fire weapon. I guess toggle was the name. I want to use it on the B key on my keyboard. So now I'm going to go ahead and save all and go to my character base.cpp. We scroll to your setup player input component. We're going to copy the fire event, paste it in, and we're going to change fire to select fire weapon toggle. And now we need to create a function for it to call. So in our character base.h, we go to our on fire down in our protected section near the bottom. We're going to go below on stop fire. We're going to create a virtual void in case we need to override it called change weapon fire mode. Create the implementation and copy the name and paste it in our bound action from on fire to change weapon fire mode. From here, what we're going to do is do a check. So if current weapon, we're going to do current weapon. We need to call a function that is yet to be created. So in weapon base, under stop firing, I want to create a new function, virtual void, to override it. I call it change fire mode. Simple. Create the implementation, leave it, go to weapon full. We're going to override it, so virtual void, change fire mode, override, create the implementation, and all we're going to do is if B is select fire, that's what the check is for. We're going to go B is in full auto equals the opposite, so not B is in full auto. So if B is in full auto is true, it's going to convert this to false. If it's false, it's going to turn to true. So now we need to call it. So in character base, we're going to do current weapon, change fire mode. And now we can compile. So I'm going to close all that down so I can restart the editor and we'll see if it works. Alrighty, let's go to our project again. Wait for the hang up to finish. Okay. Open this guy. So we have it set to is select fire. So now whenever we press B, we should go from from full auto to semi-auto and back. So test on the server first. Should be in full auto, which we are. Make sure the gun plays the animation, which it is. I press B, and now I'm in semi-auto. I'm holding down left mouse button, and it's only doing semi-auto. I think I'm hitting the player's capsule. Yeah, I was. So test on the client now. Should be in full auto. Go to semi, and now I'm in semi. And everything's working accordingly. So there's only one problem that I potentially see. I'm going to try it real quick. Make sure reloading's still working. Reload. All right, that's good. Yep, so we should be out of ammo right now. Because we only have, actually I don't know how many rounds are in the magazine. I think it's set to 30. Let's set this to 5 and see what happens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now we have an issue with infinite ammo. And that's something we're going to have to fix. So let's just look and try to figure out why real quick. So we have our weapon base when everyone's, actually I was in full auto. Let's go to semi-auto. 1, 2, oop, I'm left clicking and I cannot fire. I go back to full auto and I can fire. So if we look here in our fire function, so otherwise we call our super, so we call this fire. Let's go look at it. Wherever it is. Here we are. So what we're doing is we're doing a check. So if our magazine ammo is greater than 0, we perform everything. We need to do kind of like that same sort of checking and here as well. But more importantly, we want to do that inside of our on-client fire. So we're going to do if current magazine ammo is greater than 0, we will keep firing. And if we look at our, let's see, our play weapon effects, we are not replicating anything. So pretty much when we run out of ammo, what I want to do is on client fire. If our ammo is less than 0, we're going to do an else. We're going to do a check. So if get world is server, we're going to do server underscore start full auto fire. B is firing. Now what I want to do above this is B is firing equals false. So change this to is not the server. So what we're going to do is if we are out of ammo and we try to fire, we want to pretty much, so let's say we're in full auto right now. The rounds are going down range. We're counting from the magazine 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we hit 0. So we're out of ammo. This portion is going to run. We're going to set B as firing to false and make sure if we're not the server, we want the server to change this value. So we call our server full auto fire, which is B as firing is now false. And that's going to set it to false on the server, which is going to trigger our onRep. So the onRep will then clear the timer so the play weapon effects for all the other clients will not be firing, which is what we want. So now let's go down to on client fire again. We want to do something else as well. And I just had that, oh right, we want to clear the timer of the clients as well. Because when we start our firing on the client, we're also starting this timer. So we want to clear it like we do when we stop firing. So we're going to copy this clear timer from our stop firing function and paste it right in here. So hopefully now, whenever we run out of ammo in full auto, we can't fire. It'll just stop. And this should hopefully stop on all clients as well that are, looking at us. So hopefully everything should be kind of synced up here and functional to where it, it makes sense. Hopefully. That's the key word here. Alrighty. Wait for this to continue its hang up. There we go. Thank goodness. That wasn't very long. I don't know why I keep opening you. Alright, let's test it here first. Should have 5 rounds. Now we're out. I go to semi, left click, out, back to full auto. I can no longer shoot. Now let's test with two clients. So we're pretty much just going to be holding down full auto in front of them and seeing what happens. And it stops. I go to semi-auto. I cannot shoot. Go back to full. I cannot shoot. On this client, I'm going to go to semi-auto and just do 5 rounds. I cannot shoot. And same thing with full auto. I cannot shoot. So we are good to go there. So we can no longer fire if our ammo is depleted. So that was just one of those annoying little fixes. And also, want to check, make sure, just triple check the reload animation is good to go. For empty. Okay, it is not, so it didn't play it at all. Ah, I selected the wrong animation. Reload empty. Compile save, because I noticed this a couple videos back, but I didn't realize it. So reload normal. Reload empty. And we're good. Okay, so our full auto class is now pretty much done as far as I can think. Actually, I need to check and make sure reloading actually lets you to fire. So go empty. So we're still good there. Let me check normal. Go into 1, 2, 3, and reload. Make sure I can shoot 5 more, which I can. So we're good to go. Yeah, as far as I can think, our full auto class is pretty much, set and good to go. In our weapon semi, we're going to clear something real quick. We no longer need this reload function, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I don't even know why I had it there in the first place because we don't need to call super. And just simply compile because we're done. In the next video, what I want to do, we're only going to have to do this inside the weapon base. Look at our reload function. Here it is. What we're going to be doing is, if we're locally controlled, we're playing the reload animation for the weapon. We're also going to be playing this animation for the arms as well. So that way our reloading is handled entirely on the weapon. So I will see you in the next one. And if you are finding my work useful, you enjoy it, please consider supporting me at Patreon. And if you have any questions, my Discord is linked in the description to where you can join my Discord server and be amongst the others. So see you in the next one.